in our research policy that they will accommodate almost all refugee, because among them there are so many women and children, but they will make a minor selection for male refugee. But it's not only about the policy is not only for the migrant from Syria, but we are paying attention for Syria because we know that the Syria war is also involving European Union countries. But if you understand how Germany and France are paying big attention to this thing in European Union, they also what do you call that? They also give solution how to integrate the immigrant to the European Union society. So I think it's not because they are coming from Syria. It's not that. It's just because we are paying our research pay attention to that thing, because we think that the EU has to be responsible for the war in Syria. That's all. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mrs. Hani. Very make me understand about that situation and the current issue. Thank you. I think this is enough for the Yogi presentation papers. We going through to the next presenter. I will call Miss Yulinar Amalia Masfufa. Miss Yulinar.
Okay, hello Pak Fatwa.
Hello. Okay, thank you for the response. The topic is multilateralism toward international orienting federation as a cultural diplomacy, the study of Sweden identity. Please share screen your slide, please.
Okay. Okay, so I'm already share my screen.
Okay. So Miss Yulinar, are you ready for the presentation?
Okay, yes.
Okay, your time is 15 minutes for presentation your topic, and this count starts in right now.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So today I would like to present our study entitled Multilateralism Towards International Orienting Federations as a Cultural Diplomacy, the study of Sweden identity. So the authors are me, and then Andra, the alumni of European Studies, and then Pak Dani Susanto, and then Bu Heni Saptatyanugrahani. Okay, come to the introduction. So, sport competitions can be an effective way to build an engagement to international relations. Having the missions in cultural diplomacy to share the norms and values make Sweden upholds the multilateralism in the international orienting federations. Sweden names its country Sweden a sporting nation. So this is the slogan. And it is also one of the most sporting countries in the world in terms of geography and populations. According to Swedish Sport Confederations, more than 3 million people between age of 6 and 80 are members of sport clubs and active competitors, as well as coaches or supporters of about 2.4 million people active in sports. And sports in Sweden focuses primarily on youth sport and sport for all. There are about 500,000 leaders in the sport movement who are predominantly volunteers, and the financial value of annual contributions made by voluntary leaders is estimated at €2 billion. And then what is orienteering itself? Orienteering is a sport that combines physical and mental elements by visiting a number of control points in a predetermined order with the help of map and compass. So they use map and compass while they are doing the sport. Orienteering has 4 disciplines, namely foot orienteering by running, and then mountain bike orienteering, ski orienteering, and trail orienteering. And orienteering originally come from a military term that refers to crossing an unknown area with the use of map and compass. So this is usually a military sport. For example, like in British, they have like orienteering for their sport in their military. And the research questions, there are many international championships that carry orienteering and Sweden takes part each year. It can also be seen that orienteering is a sport that is spread globally. Sweden, through international orienteering federations, engaging the multilateralism, cooperations, and cultural, which is represented as Swedish identity. Thus, the research question of this study are, why is Sweden doing multilateralism cooperations and cultural diplomacy through orienteering, and how is the dynamics? And the second, how is Swedish identity represented in the orienteering sport? So come to the discussions. In 1945, the first orienteering festival called Tiomila was held open in Stockholm. In 1959, Sweden took the initiative to form an international organization with 11 countries participating in the meeting in Scandinavia. The International Orienteering Federations, or IOF, was officially formed at a meeting in Copenhagen, which was attended by 10 countries, namely Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, that now become Republic Czech and Slovak, and Denmark, the Republic Federal of Germany, Finland, and the Democratic Republic of Germany, Hungary, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland. IOS role is seen in spreading orienteering sport, and now until 2019, the member of countries reach until 72 countries around the world. Now, the global institutions, there are two big institutions for orienteering, that is SOFT and IOF. In the era of globalizations, institutions have an important role in the process of multilateralism. Through orienteering, Sweden is making effort to globalize the traditional sports that were born in that country. Organizations that have an important role in effort to globalize orienteering are Swedish Orienteering Federations and the International Orienteering Federations. Now, the global institutions growth for the two institutions, IOF and SOF, since the first of orienteering board in 1961 until 2019, for IOF memberships, they have the slightly improvement from year to year. Until now, become almost 80 membership. There are 74 countries, and for the soft, since 2013 until 2017, also have the slight growth every year. And then now the multilateralism towards international orienteering federations. Multilateralism defined as the process of organizing relations between group of 3 or more states operates under 3 general principles. One is indivisibility, which is modern parlance in term non-discriminations among all contracting parties. A second is reciprocity, meaning an obligation to provide equivalence, not equal and not necessarily immediate, benefit to partners in the agreement. And third is the willingness and ability of all contracting parties to enforce the rules, process, and norms of the agreement in ways that promote the settlement of dispute. And this multilateralism can be seen in the international orienteering federations among the members countries. In multilateral cooperations, orienteering sport have aspect of socio-cultural, economic, and political relations, so that the effect can be seen in practice. These aspects are the key to achievement of multilateralism in the orienteering sport from these Nordic countries. First is socio-cultural relations. So orienteering sport is inherent because in an orienteering competitions, participants can meet people from various regions and countries in one activity. Multicultural society becomes one, and this opportunity is very good for social interactions between participants. In social interaction, one can exchange cultures, exchange ideas, experience that have been felt in orienteering sport. It is also interesting to see when all ages from all walks of life can gather at one event. All generations feel the socio-cultural aspect of competitions or orienteering activities. The sport movement is the largest youth movement in Sweden. Two out every three boys and half of all girls aged between 7 and 15 are members of sport clubs. That's why in the beginning, the Gelagon is Sweden's sport. This is also applies to young people with immigrant backgrounds. Activities are available to all and are based on the needs and wants to young children. For children up to age of 12, sporting activities are characterized by overarching elements and of play and development as in the sport of orienteering. And then to the economic aspect, sport orienteering in the concept of social economy helps explain the economic role of sport in various areas of society. Many sport organizations assume responsibility for activities other than sport, and despite the fact that volunteers are dominant among leaders, the sport movement is a significant company. In addition, major sporting events create temporary jobs in other social fields such as the tourism industry. And Sweden Core Corporate is a business community with a clear agenda to make Swedish business community run with a tradition of social equality. According to the Financial Times, Sweden has more large companies per capita than any other European countries. In 2004, a compilation of 15 surveys in Newsweek listed Sweden as the world's best country, scoring the highest in global competitiveness, economic security, education, and biotechnology research. In 2000, Sweden was named the most advanced IT country in the world. The position is shared with Denmark 6 years later, and the US was the third place, and Finland was the fourth. And the political aspects. In political aspects, sports, especially orienting, are one of the tools for government in promoting its political policy. This is related to practice of cultural diplomacy through the sport of orienting. The sport policy made by the Swedish Sport Confederations are based on government political policies, which are then implemented by members of federations such as Swedish Orienteering Federations. The values applied are an important aspect in promoting a positive image of Sweden. Political aspect can be, sorry, Political aspect can be seen from the Swedish foreign policy and cultural policy implemented through orienteering sport. Swedish foreign policy covers human rights, democracy, promotions of Sweden, Swedish sport movement, including the Swedish Orienteering Federation, adhere to the United Nations Universal Declarations of Human Rights, the United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child, and the Conventions of the Right of Persons with Disabilities. Sport Wheels, aim and guidelines for the sport movement. It is the name of policy program for Swedish sport. And for the cultural diplomacy. Cultural diplomacy is a phenomenon that has been widely discussed in the current era of globalizations. Based on Eric Paitinka definitions, the core purpose of cultural diplomacy is to promote the foreign policy interests of a country in a series of activities in which there is an impetus for cultural exchange. Based on Swedish foreign policy, this can be related to the objective of cultural diplomacy, namely orienteering sport, as a tool used by Swedish government in promoting Swedish foreign policy. SOF has an intensive function of advancing Sweden's position and spreading understanding of the Nordic model. The Confederation supports specialized support of the federations in international activities organized as voluntary sport in popular movement. About 30 Swedish sporting leaders hold more than 450 positions on the executive or committees of various international sport organizations. Come up to the conclusions. So the study has two objectives, namely, first, to analyze the globalizations and cultural diplomacy efforts undertaken by Sweden through the orienteering sport and to explain its dynamic. And the second is to find out and explain Swedish identity represented through the orienteering sport. In the research discussion, it was found that national institutions like IOF and SOFT as actor carried out by Sweden by establishing the Swedish Orienteering Federations in 1938, and Sweden became one of the main founders of the International Orienteering Federations in 1961. The aspects obtained in sociocultural, economic, and political relations are also visible in globalizing the orienteering sport, namely the existence of social relations and exchange of knowledge between countries in international orienteering events with a large number of participants from other countries to Sweden. It can increase the Sweden's foreign exchange, but no specific data is found regarding the improvement of the Swedish economy. Foreign policy is also seen to be developed in orienteering sport and carried out through cultural diplomacy. Okay, thank you. So this is the end of my presentations. I give back to the moderator.
Thank you, Miss Yulinar. Amalia, you still have available time, maybe 2 minutes, but it's okay if you
Okay.
all you're sending the information. So
Okay.
we move to the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. And now we got 10 minutes to question and answer to asking about slide. So I'm offering to Zoom participants. Would you like to ask any question? Any question? Does anyone have any question or comment? Okay. I think your presentation very clear. So all participants know and just fulfill it, your in sending information to us. By the way, I want to asking a little bit question to Miss Yulinar, if you don't mind.
Yes. Yes, Pak Fatwa.
Okay. Let's see. International Orienteering Federation. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Orienteering is an outdoor sport. The sport requires a combination of physical ability and navigation skills and competition file. This is looks like a military sport, and then the I just wondering in this world we have a lot of kind sport, kind of sport that we can use as a political or economic or else. But the question is, why this type of sport was chosen for Swedish cultural diplomacy? Can you give us a specific reason for that? I just looking the root cause of why this sport very get the concentration from the what I say Sweden identity.
Okay, thank you, Pak Fatwa. So, in my opinion, I think this sport is quite unique. Firstly, because they don't need a lot of equipment, yeah. So they just bring map and compass, and they're also close to the nature. And also one of the what Swedes want to share to the world is the green environment. And this orienteering may close the participants to the environment. And also, secondly, I think this one also originally comes from a military terms, like what you said. And I think not many sports combined yeah, maybe there are some, but in this for the Sweden view, for the military purposes, they also want to enhance this. For example, like in British, in United Kingdom, they also adopt this sport, become their almost kind of a mandatory sport for their military, something like that, and they make the competitions in their military services for orienteering. So I think the uniqueness, and also the key is they want to promote the green environment. So to make the participants close to natures, and they don't uh, how to keep the natures, and then not to distract the nature, and etc. I think something like that, Pak Fatwa.
Thank you, Miss Yelina, for the answering. By the way, it's very surprisingly about some sport can directly orienteering federation as a cultural diplomacy. It's very nice topic. So I think this is the end of your presentation, and thank you very much. We
Okay.
going move to the next presenter. I will call Miss Najma Azahra.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Miss Najma.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me, Pak?
Very clear. Thank you for the response. The topic is European Union's role in handling over tourism, case study in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini. Is it right?
Yes, Pak.
Okay.
Pak.
And I show your slide now, and I guess you are ready for presentation. Your time is 15 minutes for now, and the time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Fatwa. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Najma Zara, and I am a graduate student of European Studies. To present my paper called European Union's Role in Handling of Over-Tourism, a study in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini from 2017 to 2019. My presentation materials first is introduction, then purpose, research question, theory, discussion, and conclusion. I choose this theme because tourism is one of the fastest growing industries, and the tourism industry in Europe is growing rapidly because European countries have the most popular and most visited tourist destinations, and the increasing number of tourist arrivals has negative impacts on tourism, and one of them is over-tourism. Do you know what is over-tourism? As you can see here, there are so many people visiting one tourist destination. Based on World Tourism Organization, over-tourism is a phenomenon that occurs when there are so many tourists who come to a certain tourism destination that it exceeds the capacity. Tourists who come often do not protect the environment of the tourist destinations they visit. So the impact of this phenomenon includes environmental damage to the cultural sites, economic inequality, and damage to the quality of life of local communities both socially and culturally. Based on World Tourism Organization, the number of data of tourists that visit Europe in 2017 is 170 million tourists, and the data has increased in 2018 to 713 million tourists, and in 2019 there are 742 million tourists that come to Europe, and prediction in 2013 is 1.8 billion tourists will come to Europe. The The purpose of this paper is to analyze the over-tourism phenomenon that are currently rising in European Union member states. This paper focuses on how European Union handle over-tourism that occurring in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini, as the cities mentioned are located in EU's member states. This paper has a qualitative study that has study of over-tourism occurring in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini from 2017 until 2019. This paper analyzed using formal intergovernmental organization and compliance theories. This paper is significant because the rapid growth of tourism industry has caused the phenomenon of over-tourism to occur in various countries. It is hoped that other countries can learn from this case in Italy, Spain, and Greece to prevent over-tourism and how to handle it if it happens. First city is Venice, located in Italy. As we know, Venice are well known for its canals. There are so many beautiful canals in Venice, but unfortunately, these canals are got damaged because too many tourists visit Venice. But the government of Venice did not take immediate action because the tourism is one of the highest GDP in Greece. In 2018, there are 227.3 billion euros GDP for tourism alone in Greece. And then the second city is Barcelona. There are so many people visit Barcelona because there are many beautiful beaches in Barcelona. But again, the government didn't take immediate action because the GDP of tourism in Spain in 2018 is 176 billion euros. However, the local residents were not happy about it because the tourists has created the damage to the environment and also to their living. In 2017, tourism is the fourth biggest problem in Barcelona because in 2017 there was a political instability happen in Barcelona, and the increasing number of tourists that visit Barcelona at the year has exploded greatly. So the local residents were not very happy about it, and they did demonstration to the government of Barcelona. In Santorini, there are total the GDP of tourism in Greece in 2018 is 212 billion euros. The local residents in Santorini are aware about the impact of over-tourism. Their living costs are getting more expensive, and many migrants work and become permanent residents in Santorini. But these migrants didn't have money, so they have difficulty paying the rent. So the local residents of Santorini prefer to move to another city than to stay in their city. But again, the government didn't take immediate action. As you can see here, in the table here, there are large difference between the number of tourists and the total population of local residents in these cities. The large number of tourists has caused various negative impacts in these cities. However, the government of Italy, Spain, and Greece did not immediately take action to deal with over-tourism. How is the government reaction? They did not take immediate action to handle this phenomenon because Italy, Spain, and Greece experienced an economic crisis from 2009 to 2019. But tourism is one of the main sectors that are relied on for their country's income. So my research question If the countries did not take immediate action, can the institution make them do it? Thus, the question is, how is European Union's role in handling the over-tourism in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini? I'm using two theories to analyze this paper. First is from my intergovernmental organization, from Johan and Martin. There are three categories needed to form a formal intergovernmental organization. First is purpose, second is bureaucratic organizations, and then explicit rules and missions. This theory is used to analyze how the regulations owned by the European Union are able to deal with the phenomenon of over-tourism in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini. Second theory is compliance by Siemens. Compliance is a form of compliance from member countries to the international institutions that support them. This theory is used to describe the relationship between member countries, Italy, Spain, and Greece, and international institution that is European Union. So, as member states of the European Union, the government of Italy, Spain, and Greece must comply with the regulations made by the EU. The EU is known as the supranational organization that has regulations in various fields. The phenomenon of over-tourism, which causes various negative impacts, one of which is damaging the environment, has caused the EU that has a special policy on environment protection to step in. The policies by the European Union, there are two policies by the European Union to handle the over-tourism. First is tourism policy. Tourism policy that European Union has is first, all impacts of tourism must be considered when planning and development. Tourism must be balanced and integrated with various activities that have an impact on society and the environment. And then make long-term plans so they do not have negative impact of future generations, and then involve of stakeholders, and then full evaluation and preventive action to prevent damage to the environment or society. And then government needs to limit tourism-related development and limit tourist arrivals, and then distribute tourists to other tourist destinations with attractive offers, increasing the capacity of tourist destinations, take green measures of tourist destinations, and local residents must benefit economically from visiting tourists. And the second policy is environmental policy. European Union has environmental protection in nature directive policy, and in 2017, the European Commission released an action plan to increase its contribution of nature protection. The European Parliament also strongly supports nature directive and asks the Commission and member countries to increase their priority in protecting nature, especially in tourist destinations. So my conclusion is, first, the European Union deals with the phenomenon of over-tourism that occurs in Venice, Barcelona, and Santorini, which are located in Italy, Spain, and Greece by using regulations. The EU member states must comply with regulations that have been issued by the European Union, and the regulations implemented in the cities mentioned above prove effective as the negative impact of over-tourism has decreased since the EU implemented their regulation. So that's all my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Najma Azahra, for your presentation. And now we got 10 minutes to question and answer. It's chance to Zoom participant asking about the topic slide. Does anyone have any question or comment in this room for the participant, for the presenter? Please feel free to ask question. Would you like to ask any question? Okay, I guess your presentation is very interesting and very clear. So everyone in this Zoom participants know about your idea, but give me chance to asking you some question, Miss Najma.
Okay,
I have two questions for you. It's about over tourism.
yes.
The first one is over tourism will only occur, especially in developing countries that are highly dependent on the tourism industry, like our country. Okay, in fact, this phenomena it happened to developed countries like European area, such as Sweden and Finland. My question is, what is the main reason so that Sweden and Finland get the same problem as a developing countries problem? That's the first question, and the second one is actually we all know about the tourism industry for now in the pandemic COVID-19 outbreak. So actually, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there will be no over tourism. That's my statement. So my second question is, what are the strategic solution and innovation in the tourism industry in overcoming in this situation, especially from Venice? Venice is made in Italy, Spanish on Finland. I think that's all my question. Please, you can answer.
Okay, thank you, Pak Fatwa, for the questions. I will try to answer the first question. Why over-tourism also occurs in developed countries such as Finland and Sweden? I think it's because Finland and Sweden are also relied heavily on their tourism industry. There are so many tourists visit Sweden and Finland, and yes, they visit those countries because they have beautiful scenery. But Finland and Sweden are different from Italy, Spain, and Greece, because Finland and Sweden did immediately take action on over tourism. I read some articles about them that Finland and Sweden both have a sustainable tourism plan, and it they did take action immediately on over tourism. So they have many tourists. They are flooded by tourists, but the condition in Sweden and Finland are better than Venice.
Mr. Farid Mubarak, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I could hear your voice, and I think
By
there is
Okay.
a connection problem with Miss Najma.
Let's continue. We hear your voice, Miss Najma. Please continue your answer.
okay, yeah, but they did care about the problem of over tourism, and they did take action, but they also don't want to lose their tourists. So they take action slowly but sure about sustainable tourism. Is the difference. And for the second question, in this pandemic, yes, the number of tourists are decreasing greatly because we can go anywhere. So it's a change for the countries that has over tourism to uh, to take care of their environmental, and also to plan how in the future, if the pandemic is over, how they will handle the tourists that who come to their countries. And in some articles that I read, uh, they are preparing it right now. They are preparing the future plan for tourists because it's now is the chance because tourists cannot go anywhere, and these countries are preparing to make a plan in the future how to handle the tourists. Of course, with European Union, because European Union also has the great role in this. Yes, that's all, Pak Fatwa.
Okay, thank you, Miss Najma. Very nice strategic from Italy, Spanish, and Greece. Thank you for the completely answer. I think all is clear. I think this is end of your presentation, Miss Najma. We
I
still
ask.
have we still have any question from the participant. Can I know the name?
My name is Steve. Okay, I would like to ask about the over-tourism solution. So there is actually a over-tourism problem in Indonesia, and Indonesian government offers the new Bali concept to as a Indonesia program to distribute over capacity of Bali. My question is, has any of the countries in the mention of this presentation that impacted by over-tourism attempted to empower or offer any alternative new destination to distribute this overcapacity tourism? So
Yes,
that is what is the concrete program, like for example, maybe Venice is alternated to Sicily or what not. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steve, for the question. Please, Najma, you can answer it now.
yes. Thank you for the question. As I know, the European Union, I mentioned it above. As I know, European Union also has plan to it. European Union also has plan to move the popular destination to another city. Of course, tourists will not move to another city if there is no benefit for them. So the European Union and the government in these countries make plan to give the tourist benefit. So if they come to less popular cities, they will have discounts for tourist destinations and also for hotels and also for transportations. So there will not much crowded again in the popular cities, and the less popular cities will get more visitors. And hopefully with this program, in the future there will not be over tourism again in some destination. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you for the answer, Ms. Najma. Very clear. We still have 43 seconds. Maybe some of you want to asking or give it some elaborate or any point to the presenter. Okay, I guess that's all. Thank you to Ms. Najma Az-Zahra for the presentation. We still have 3 presenter, so don't go anywhere. Just stay tuned, and we have some information from Mr. Farid Mubarak as a person in charge in this Zoom break room, and I think I give it you the chance to give us some information, the important information, Mr. Farid.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nur Fatwa. For all participants, we have 30 minutes break before we move to the next presenter, and I will set the timer for your preference during the break, so all of you could see the times left for the break. And I also kindly ask all respected participants to stay in the room during the break. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
approach to collective home spheres through the case of Kampung Aquarium, Jakarta. Okay. Home sphere is my original concept. This is similar to living area, but rather than objective information, not just objective information, it is a place where you can feel relaxed and at home. And also it's based on each person's value judgment. So I believe if you can be attached, you will have your own okay. Introduction. Okay. And Marshall says that city planning is effectively premised on the idea of unplanned city as disordered and dysfunctional. So in recent years, more and more attention has been paid to the term self-organization in urban research and planning theories. So it has various meaning for different researchers, but mostly it is an antithesis of the modern urban planning. So for example, some improvements, so it cannot be handled by the current city planning. And we have to learn to plan as we make a whole from the parts. So, and I think we have to practice the approach that foster the neighborhood autonomy and rather than the imposition of absolute standard, in my opinion. And in this issue, I will present a case study of Kampong. As you know well, so in 2016, Kampong on the coast of North Jakarta was evicted by the Jakarta Provincial Administration under the regime of the Foster, a former provincial governor, for the project aimed infrastructure development and greening. Kampong was one of them, so of course you know, and about 500 families lost their homes. However, in April 2017, the current governor of the province take office and change the policy to return to the settlement, and the temporary shelter was built in 2018. So about a few months after eviction, Rujak Center for Urban Study, together with several organizations and with this displaced community, has supported and empowered the people in early process of recovery. It's a community action planning. So this picture we taken in Kampong, and left one is I took it September 2018, and right is September 1 year later. In just 1 year, the living environment will change so much. So generally speaking, the urban compound has been formed spontaneously and have a potential of self-organizing their own living environment. So Elisa, representative of Rujak, says that the compound has a capacity to their own condition organize. So in these changes, we can see the realization of each inhabitant's thought and evaluation in an orderly way. It's not chaotic. So my research is to approach diverse living environment perceived by each inhabitant. In other words, instead of grasping them all at once, I try to understand the differences and learn from the people. So compound is a collective and the diversity. So I try to understand the self-organization, the mechanism of self-organization for new planning of compound-like housing. So the method, here is this is my original method developed by me in Kyoto, Japan. The most important way is dialogue. My method is based on the Bohm dialogue, so advocated by the theoretical physicist David Bohm. The principles are these: the welcome differences, explore them, and assumption. Do not just throw the discussion, and observe the listen to one another and search for the underlying meaning. And dialogue is to learn from inhabitants' point of view, but the evaluation of environment cannot be expressed by only language. So thinking by drawing is a better way. In other words, it's a sharing of oral history supported by the visualization. So in one dialogue, we made many sketches like this. So this original method, I called it a sketch log dialogue. So developed in the Kyoto, Japan. The important thing is not to look for the answer, but to think together with inhabitants. So the several scale of time of maps helps us to communicate easily. And the dialogue proceed from talking about individual life history to talking about what he is or what she is evaluating in his own surroundings. At the same time, the participants make hand drawing sketches of contents of visualized notion to share and to confirm. You have to draw sketches and then show it the informant. So then if If the sketches is wrong, rewrite it again and again until they completely understand each other. So its meaning is that sketch is a piece of part of the evidence that makes sense to each other. And for example, in Kyoto, we had this practice. It was an interactive portrait of city the residents perceive as diverse based on their values. It is similar to the image of city by Kevin Lynch, but it's not. It's different. It is a drawing not by the monologue. It's but by dialogue. Okay. These maps are not only the achievements. Many sketches were acquired actually. Okay. Okay. Next, from now I will report my experience in Kampong Aquarium. We made dialogue with 12 inhabitants in 9 times, varied in gender. This table is information of inhabitants. Okay. Okay. The location was arranged by inhabitants, such as in their houses, or in the open space, or in the mushora and under the eaves, and so on. And in my method, the place to practice is very important for make sense of their home sphere. Okay. For example, informant A, she came from the neighboring kampong, and before eviction, she's home, she's house nearby the bridge, and in front of her house, people was gathering. So that memory is very important for her. And also, she liked to the viewing for Pasari Khan. And also she said that before eviction, narrow street was so good because it make a cooler environment. But now they don't have a narrow street. So this is this is important also for her. And then she drew. So we draw her home sphere like this map, and it included not only Kampong Aquarium, but also the neighboring kampong. So that's a very unique point. And next, informant H, we heard that she is the first person to live in Kampong Aquarium, 1970. She lived in the research center of LIPI, and she said she was the center sketches. She was scared of bringing because it looks like a ghost. And for her, most impressive memory is New Year Festival. There were many ships on the sea, and fireworks was very beautiful. Her older history is almost the history of Kampong Aquarium itself, in my opinion. It's very, very important. And finally, her home sphere, like this red zone. It's a very unique shape. Next, we met her with informant D in her unit, and she lives in. Now he lives in here, and she is go shopping under the eaves to the neighboring kampong. So her home sphere like this unique shape. And she think that the kitchen in front of her unit like this as shared for all people or people of Kampong Aquarium. So these spaces have been around before eviction. For her, this is very, very important. And next is informant E. He is a fisherman, so his home sphere include on the sea. And the open space that he plays soccer with kids. in Kampong. And before eviction, in the morning, he was learning seaside. This is a good memory for him. So his home sphere is like this. Okay, and next is informant G. His home sphere is like this. It's like a network. Because he has many friends actually, and his most impressive memory in the sunset life when he was young, and he played guitar on the bridge. The bridge does not exist now, but in the art workshop he visualized a memory like this, so it's an artistic way. And this is a collective home sphere. As you can see, the home sphere is very, very various. It's amazing how much diversity there is even within the same community. But because we have a different barrier and the way of seeking, so it's naturally. In my opinion, Kampong includes them successfully, I think. We hope that these unique things will inherit to the new housing. And the next is a different point of view. These maps are a plot of residence history of people who made dialogue. This figure shows where they lived before and after the eviction. The before, just after, and the now shelter situation. We can understand that they live in the almost same place like this, and with familiar people. So it's also one of their history. Okay, finally conclusion. In this paper, I proposed a sketch of dialogue that depicts the diverse value and the perception of the inhabitants. And also I conducted the dialogue with people of Kampong Aquarium and uncovered the mechanism of the home sphere and the autonomy, the organizing. And also it's a demonstration of the possibility of the methodological approach for the alternative urban planning and design. Okay. And finally, this diagram expresses the Kampong Aquarium totally landscape layered. So we can learn about the Kampong from many different sources. So in particular, we can study history and the structure and the situation of large city from the books, and in particular, books. But the actual landscape have been made by people. So it's a living culture, daily life. So I think the most important approach is to learn the mechanism of self-organization and the collective thinking from people. So this is always the starting point to the planning, I think. Okay, my presentation is finished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Arigato gozaimashita. Are you working with Google?
Google?
Yeah. You don't know. Are you working with Elisa?
Yeah, yes, I'm working with Elisa.
Are you working with Herlili? Herlili? Herlili?
Harry?
No, you don't know. Or working with the some from the Faculty of Architecture.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. This kind of participative planning, which is very important, especially in the urban area. If the inhabitant is very, heterogene, The question is, how do you dialogue with the formal city government? I mean, after dialogue and after talking a lot with the communities, how do you dialogue with the formal city government, especially for asking legality later on? That's one. The second one is, how do you motivate the community for the so-called sustainable dialogue, not just because of, for example, city government support for Kampung Aquarium, but for the future dialogue among community. How do you motivate community? Okay, that's two. Yeah, I mean, sometimes community would like to talk if you there or if Elisa there, but if you will not be there and Elisa will not be there, how the community is motivate themselves to build up as a good community? Yeah, can you respond on that?
So very difficult question.
No, in your experience.
Yeah, and
or in your strategy.
Yes, the first question, of course, we need to the presentation our practice to the government.
Yes.
Yes,
for asking a kind of permission or ability to adopt later on. Yeah, the planning is be adopted as well from the government side. That's very important, right?
Yeah, of course, right.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes. But and also we should empowerment for the empowerment the community and the people. So my method is very very basic method. So the basically, so this method is easy to do for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone will use my method, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and so next, of course, as you say, the next step is how to
motivate them.
Yeah, motivate. Yes, for other people and
right,
other or governor, of course, and the community. Yes.
But by the way, which is more difficult, in Jakarta case or in Kyoto case? To do, yeah.
Jakarta case is more not is easy.
Okay.
For than Kyoto.
So Kyoto is more difficult.
Yeah, more difficult, I think.
Can you give our sharing the reason why in Kyoto is so difficult?
So it's the difference from the people.
I see.
The Kyoto, the people in Jakarta, they can make their living environment by themselves.
Okay.
They have motivation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But Kyoto people in Kyoto, it's difficult to say, but
self-confidence high.
Yeah.
In Kyoto.
Yeah, and the motivation is a little bit small than.
I see.
I think. So
how about the education? Education.
Yeah, education is high, but it's difficult to motivate.
Sitting together or motivate? Okay.
Yeah, it's in Kyoto.
So how about the city government in Kyoto? Helpful?
It's not good. So, it's good to say
Yes, the city
complicated
gov. Yeah,
situation actually. So
yeah, probably city government in Kyoto do not have much time to see you.
yes, yes, yes.
In Jakarta, sometimes there's local city government is very helpful,
Oh,
especially for, yeah, especially for the foreigner.
yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Thank
and yeah, there is a question here from the audience. Let me check. Let me read. Um, from your finding about the homosphere, you classify the form or shape of the homosphere based on social characteristics such as gender or age, male, female, for example, and the homosphere for housewife more narrower than adult, and so on. Is that so? Can you
No,
read? Yeah,
there is no classification.
I see.
Yes, because the sample is very, very small number.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the diversity is important in
I
this case.
see. Can you come back? When are you coming back again to Jakarta?
Oh, I hope I hope to visit soon, but yeah.
So you studying in Kyoto?
Yes.
Okay, right. Very interesting. Kyoto is wonderful city.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a very very nice city. So thank you very much,
Yeah.
Otasan. And I think you have already put the email address, right?
Yes,
Email.
yes.
Probably we can communicate later on.
Yeah, of course. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Terima
And,
kasih.
I next one. Panggil nggak? So the second one is Katarina Ani Sulistyowati. Katarina, are you there? If not, Nadia Paramita. Nadia Paramita. Okay, go ahead.
Format. The following non-geometrical information mentioned before, it can be found on standard requirements such as COBie, where the owner will specify engineer COBie spreadsheet for close-out deliverables. So COBie is a useful data format. It collected data during design, construction, and commissioning phases, but there were records that recorded there is a redundant amount of information in COBie for facilities managers. Hence, it still requires critical process of identifying information needed to deliver FM enable BIM. So the following systematic review was an effort to standardize the information requirement which aim to facilitate the owner and facilities manager with information on physical and functional characteristics of BIM model to support FM objective. With the amount of information that is leveraged to what is needed, it can lead to manageable file size, and then it can lead to speedier and smooth integration processes. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. It's a wonderful research. So now it's a Q&A session. Is there any question from other participant? Please ask. Okay, while we are waiting for a question from participant, So let me ask a question. So this study is a kind of literature survey, so which you collect 700 papers and screen out those papers, and finally you get 15 papers. Am I right? Okay, so
Yeah.
in that slide you mentioned the diagram, but I wonder how do you filter those 700 to become 15? What parameter do you use to choose these papers?
Okay. Should I share again? No, I mean I share the screen. Okay.
Yes, please.
So if as shown over here, first and foremost, we do the screening process where we exclude all the conference proceeding, the book series, and then the book series, the non-English literature. All these criteria is set before we we do the identification. So after that, we have the number two screening process where we focus when we're reading all through the abstracts and all the studies that did not focus on facilities management phase and not discuss on information requirement. So that one we exclude from the study as well. And then the final one is that when we look at the full context, full text, and then we look at the conclusion, and then if it were not related to our central question, we were not included as well. So we at this stage, what I did is that we shared the selection of the studies to the experts to be assessed either this one is what related or to the study or not.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you. Is there any question from other participant?
If I may ask, I want to know what is the difference between LOD 400 and LOD 700?
LOD, excuse me, LOD between
400 and 700. What is, at least from the literature review and the information you have, so what is the main difference between the differences between LOD 400 and 700?
Okay, so as the LOD increases, the level of details and information also increases. So if you, because LOD consists of level of detail and also level of information. So for instance, if you ask me about the level 700, because we are not using 700 right now, so I can't provide you the answer for that, but I'm going to use this the instance for LOD 300 with LOD 500. So for instance, LOD 300, it consists the additional non-graphic information such as scheduling and estimating data, while LOD 500, it include the time and management, and LOD 350, it include the details of element interfacing with other building elements. It means that the higher the level of development, the higher level of information that input into the model, and also the higher level of detail, such as you might want to make it more realistic, looking like the real in real life compared to as-built data model.
Thank you. So your goal is to stop. Your goal is to stop at 500. Is that?
Yeah, because LODs of 600 and 700 is rarely being used, and even in Malaysia, we are most of the government country, most of the government company, they are using only at LOD 350. And LOD 500 are only being used currently at western part of the country. So it's not widely being used more than LOD 400 is rarely being used right now.
All right, thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there any question? We still have about 4 minutes in this for this presentation. So if no more question, let's finish this session and we will move to next presenter. Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Nasaruddin.
You are welcome. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, and we are moving to the next presenter. The next presenter with title Effects of Mixed Design Parameters on Compressive Strength of High Calcium Fly Ash Geopolymer Concrete from Hamdi Abdul Rahman Saif Salim. So for the presenter, please. So Dr. Salim, are you here?
Hello, Dr. Erza. If the presenter is not here yet, we can move to the next presenter.
Okay.
We will call the presenter, this Mr. Hamid. On probably he's on the waiting room, but if he's not answering yet, yeah, maybe he's not here. We're trying to reach him first. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so then let's wait for him about 1 or 2 minutes before we move to the next presenter. So in the meantime, the next presenter with title Cyclic Behavior of Palu Sandy Soils in Cyclic Simple Shear Test by Eriska Ramdiani. So Miss Eriska Ramdiani, are you here?
Yes, doctor. We've already tried to reach her, but there is no answer yet.
Okay. Yes. So I think we we are ahead of our schedule. We supposed to start this session after 3:30, but now even not 3:30 yet. So it's okay. We will wait for the presenters to come. How about the last speaker? Parameterization of oil palm shell concrete
but every year since 1995, we've been we've been hosting, our university has been hosting this celebration, and we are proud to see all the ambassadors gathering at our university to celebrate this special French language week at UI. Though our status is not even member or associate of this organization. Okay, let's move to another. Okay, and then we came up with these research questions. The questions, we have two questions. How has then France managed to maintain a Francophone identity in French-speaking countries such as Luxembourg, Belgium, and Switzerland, and of course in other countries, but here we focus only on these three specific countries located in Europe. And then next is what is the strategy to maintain French hegemony towards the ex-colonial countries? And as we use this theory of Antonio Gramsci from Italy, which said that, which stated that hegemony refers to political power that is exercised by the ruling class, not only through coercion, but also and especially through consensus, to impose a worldview and philosophy that supports the recognition of its dominance by the dominated classes. This is what we call the imposing the power without the victim being, feeling really dominated. So this is just like a win-win solution because everybody's happy, Okay. Next, let's go to the next. Yeah, and after conducting the research, and we come up with these results, and we can say that for the case of Belgium, Luxembourg, and Switzerland, we find out that historical similarities have actually shaped the Francophone identity. And they, as you know, like in Belgium, they have two languages, French and Dutch, Flamand and Wallon, which are used simultaneously. And the strange case is in Switzerland, a very small country, but where 4 different languages are used as spoken as official languages. And what happened in Switzerland is sometimes just people cannot communicate each other because, like a Swiss from an Italian part, for instance, who doesn't speak any German or French, they simply cannot communicate with their friends in German or in French part of the country. And if we think about it, and we are so grateful that Indonesia has a very good linguistic policy which allow us to communicate with our fellow Indonesians everywhere. When we go to Papua, so 2-3 hours flight, and we find people who understand us. It's not the case in Switzerland, where from Geneva, where everybody speaks French, and we go 2 hours drive to Zurich, and everybody simply speaks German. Okay, and then another thing. Let's go back to another. Okay, this is good. And why the French language is used is also thanks to 24 years Napoleon's imperialism, which imposes the use of French language in countries ever colonized by France. And also, as far as multilateralism is concerned, the Francophone countries inside Organization International de la Francophonie organized the annual meeting called Okay, this is not the case. Every year they change the topic or the theme of this French language celebration, French language week celebration. They change the theme every the topic or the theme every year. Like Dis-moi, dis-moi, 10 tell me 10 words is one of the theme conducted like in 2018. Okay, but they vary every year. We have I remember they had a street art, for instance, as a theme. Okay, so they change the theme every year, and we found out that the French language used in the Belgium, Switzerland, and Luxembourg are not really the same. Like in Belgium, we have Wallon, Belgian region French, which is used simultaneously with normal or general French. And the same case occurs in Switzerland, where French Swiss is spoken together with normal or general French. Whereas in Luxembourg, they only have normal French language. Let's move to maybe the last, I think. Okay. No, not the last. We have no, hegemony. Okay. Hegemony analysis. So France as a dominant group has the power of coercion through equality of language, making the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Alliance Française, and the Institut Français as actors of political society, because hegemony can be conducted also by civil society in addition to political society. And actors in political society include Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is responsible for spreading France's top priority for France diplomacy. So the linguistic diplomacy is very, very important for France. And then we have Alliance Française, which starts to promoting the use of French in teaching and contributing to increased intellectual influence and interest in Francophone culture by promoting cultural exchange. And abroad, they promote the cultural activities, including the language, through the so-called Institut Français or Français Institute. And we have also formation of culture institution abroad and carrying out culture activities such as Francophonie Week. We have discussed earlier. Okay, then we come to the last slide, I think. Julina, please. So the conclusion of our research is as follows. And France succeeded in forming the trust of colony community to preserve, promote, and use French language through Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie that covered in multilateralism agenda. Okay, so this is this shows how France succeed in forming this trust to this community to proudly use French language as the language of communication among them. And next is the importance of language and the identity of the nation encourages groups to maintain the existence of the language. This shows political interest for the reform of a nation by ruling classes is needed to continue to shape linguistic ideology in a dominated society. So it can be said that identity and hegemony are closely related. And hegemony is a form of domination by the ruling group is carried out because of the support of agreement from private groups, so that the concept of Francophone and Francophonie can develop as a group of French-speaking entities that can be said to be a form of neo-colonialism, namely a new model of imperialism that does not use violence but with culture and linguistic approaches. Okay, I think I talked too much. I think it's only 10 minutes at my disposal. Okay, I think I conclude this presentation. I give the floor to my dear friend, Mr. Fatwa.
Thank you, Mr. Danny, for the completely presentation about hegemony. Very nice topic, and I guess will be a lot.
NGO, when they're trying to provide the support, they need to work with the local NGO. Now, in the ASEAN, in a regional Southeast Asia, also provide contribution. As you can see here, there are many contribution also provided by the ASEAN member state to Indonesia during that time. Now, moving on to the COVID-19 in response in Indonesia. So these slides are taken the update for 7th December 2020. And we know within 1 day, yesterday, that we have more than 5,000 positive cases of COVID-19 in Indonesia only in 1 day. And the trend, if you can see here, is still increasing. You can see the increasing trend. And also during the COVID-19 response, Indonesia, for this one, comparing to the earthquake tsunami, Indonesia declared that this is a national calamity status. It's basically to provide the a flow of financial and funding for the government stakeholders to respond to the situation. Now, Indonesia also received some of the supports from the international friends as well, government and non-government support. Some of the reliefs in terms of material support in forms of masks, protection equipment, PCR tests, ventilators, X-ray, and as well as big tents, I think. I haven't seen any or heard any declaration of welcoming international support, however, that we received that. Now, in terms of the working who, what, and where by the humanitarian country team, basically consists of the international organization operated in Indonesia already, as well as the non-government organization. You can see here updated from the UN OCHA. And as you can see, most of the organizations involved are coming from the national NGO. I think this is one of the impact from the COVID-19 situation where we have limited access, limited movement, especially from country to country. So we will have to rely more on the national capacities to provide response to any disasters. So the study here is, the objective is to understand challenges and good practices during Central Sulawesi earthquake, understand the challenges posed by the COVID-19 and potential improvement for the future situation. We tend to use a qualitative analysis, and then at this preliminary stage, we use a secondary data analysis from the literature reviews, articles, reports, and situation updates from the prominent organizations. Now, one of the major challenges during the Central Sulawesi earthquake is coordination. We have unclear roles, responsibility among local authorities, national posts, and government organizations. We have unclear specification, for instance, the generator sets, water treatment. There is no specific size, specific regulation, so it creates challenge for the logistical in the field. Now, we also find that BNPB role is reduced during this Central Sulawesi earthquake. As you can see in the graph diagram on the right side here, BNPB was part of the member for the national response. And we have also insufficient or lacking local mitigation plan, and there is also not up-to-date contingency plan available in Palu. As you can see, the map here showing the red dot is showing the status of the contingency plan in Palu, and that was developed based in the last will be 2011. So it's way ago and has not been updated. So during the COVID-19, there are improvement in the structure of the national response, where BNPB was uplifted back to the its coordination role under the Presidential Decree number 9, 2020. As you can see here, the head of BNPB become the head of the National Response Organizing Committee to provide the COVID-19 response. Now, between the two situation, COVID-19 and the earthquake in Central Sulawesi, we found that civil-military coordination and collaboration is inevitable. As long as each of them knowing their roles and responsibility, this is a good practice that can be applied again for the future to strengthen the national response. Now, based on the COVID-19 also in the future that we found, there are behavioral change adaptation that we have to adhere to, such as wearing masks, keeping a safe distance, about 2 meters, and then washing hand with soap and water. However, there are challenges in providing humanitarian assistance during a disasters. For this one, as you can see in the picture here, it will be difficult in the evacuation centers to keep a safe distance based on the protocol of COVID. Additionally, also, as from the Typhoon Ulysses in the Philippines, there are just in the past last month, there are several mayors of the city are, I think, infected with COVID-19. So it creates a situation where they don't have the leader, the head, to lead the emergency response. And finally here, very difficult to provide a COVID-19 protocol during evacuation efforts for major disasters. This picture is coming from the, again, Typhoon Vamco in the Philippines in November in the Marikina city, where the authorities, because here is the police, would like to rescue the victims. And as you can see there, some, I think majority doesn't wear a mask, and then it's wet. So if you wear a mask, it's also, your mask will get wet. And then there are no safe distance as well. So those are the challenges posed by the COVID-19 for the humanitarian worker to provide the humanitarian response. So as part of the conclusion and recommendation that we learned from the Central Sulawesi earthquake in Indonesia, basically we saw a progress in the role of BNPB. BNPB was put back in place for the coordination structures. However, training and exercises among relevant government stakeholders and decision makers at the executive level still need to be conducted in order to understand the existing policy that are available in Indonesia and to make use of it to become operational. Second, the skill and knowledge of the personnel of local authorities basically still need to be improved, and such policy mitigation plan needs to be reviewed regularly and exercised for them to be prepared at all times in such of a incoming disaster situation. COVID-19 situation suggested that we need to reconsider how the humanitarian assistance will be delivered to meet the demands of the affected population. We need to make sure the availability of the, for instance, personal protective equipments, such as face masks, hand sanitizer. Also, we have to make available the regular health monitoring. And of course, as this is still a preliminary stage, we need more in-depth analysis of the lesson learned from the regional emergency response, like in the Philippines, in Thailand, Malaysia, for instance, just to understand the situation better and to take best practices from disasters during COVID-19. And we also need to go deeper down also to research the national structures during the COVID-19, how it is implemented, and what's the successful rate of these current structures of Indonesia. I think that's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, you still have a time, sir. You
Yes.
may have some add-on to your presentation. Okay, thank you very much, Pak Jangam, for your presentation for the learning from Central Sulawesi earthquake and preparedness of major disaster response during pandemic. Okay, before I open question for the audience and the other presenter, as we know that Indonesia have a ring of fire, and it's very difficult to have some protocol COVID in earthquake or some like that. I have a question. How government and NGO handle earthquake in Central Sulawesi? They have a protocol or something like that, maybe, please?
During the Central Sulawesi earthquake in 2018, we don't have the COVID-19 yet. So, of course, the currently the situation during that time is it's a regular humanitarian support delivered. However, if you look at the current situation, we know we have 3 volcanic eruptions currently: Mount Merapi, as well as Semeru, and also the Lewo Tolok in the East Nusa Tenggara, I think. So looking at the Mount Merapi, I think there are some evacuated, that there are evacuated the population as a preparedness before creating more calamities. So during that one, they created some separation between families. Of course, it's not ideal. Of course, it's not ideal to have like a 2 meters distance, but there are some adjustments still needs to be put in place. So they have a separation within families. So in the 1 cubicle, it's only the same family, and the other families needs to be in different cubicle. But still, of course, regular monitoring of the probably temperature check, washing hand, and providing a face mask still need to be given.
Okay, but it's still difficult. Seems like your explanation in the picture that they must, the refugees they must save, and then I think it's very difficult, yeah, to have the protocol COVID. And then I have one last question, maybe.
Yes.
There's the early warning system before the earthquake that happened.
Yes, during the Central Sulawesi earthquake, there is early warning provided by the BMKG that this may be creating a tsunami. However, then after I think several minutes, then BMKG withdraw the early warning for tsunami. So because basically the unique characteristics during the Palu earthquake is that the tsunami was created due to it's not directly impacted by the earthquake, but it's due to the I think the landslide, underwater landslides from the ground. So that happens and undetected, and so it's not a regular earthquake. So that's why the BMKG failed. We can say failed during that time to provide a proper early warning for a tsunami. And that happens also during the following that during the Mount Krakatau eruption. There is a small eruption in Banten, so there are some tsunami also, and then creates victims because the tsunami was created due to the the landslide of or the eruption of the to the underwater, and that creates a tsunami.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Janggam. Okay, we'll open a question, please, dear presenter, participant, and audience to ask some question and some suggestion maybe. Let us know. Just write it down on the chat room, or you can ask directly to Pak Janggam, please. So means that in Central Sulawesi, the early warning system, they just handle for the BMKG. There's no maybe like NGO or something like that, that some maybe collaboration with government before the maybe some have like satellite maybe, then can detect the before the earthquake. Before, like you told me that the earthquake not the only one that make the people that suffer, but there's water in the ground, right? And then make a move the soil move. Okay, I think if there's no question, we'll move to other presenter. Pak Dika.
Yes, no problem, Pak Ronald. Thank you, Pak Janggam.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Janggam.
Thank you, Pak.
Maybe we can Pak Adis Munandar.
Pak Janggam. So we have Pak Adis Munandar
and Pak Harsan Roy.
Harsan Roy, yeah. Okay, we have two presenter left. Okay, please, Pak Adis. Are you ready, Pak Adis, to present your presentation right now? Or we just move to maybe to Pak Harsan Roy Tampomuri. Pak Harsan. Pak Harsan.
Yeah. Yes, Pak Ronald.
Yeah. Please present your presentation.
Thank you, Pak Ronald.
Yeah.
Please allow me to share the screen. Wait. Okay. Please let me know if the screen already.
Yes, we can see it clear, Pak Harsan.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Harsan Roy Tampomuri as the first author, and Mrs. Maria Puspitasari, my academic supervisor, as the second author. I'm a graduate student at School of Strategic and Global Studies, Universitas Indonesia. Today I'm going to give a short presentation on human security border state management strategy during COVID-19 pandemic. A study conducted at Mota Ain and Mota Masin, cross-border post is Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. This is the border area of the Republic of Indonesia and the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. Indonesia affected by COVID-19. My presentation today, this afternoon, is divided into 6 main sections. The first is introduction.
Please.
Okay. Yeah, Indonesia is one of the countries affected by the global COVID-19 pandemic, along with hundreds of countries in the world. Okay. Indonesia became a country affected by the global pandemic after the government announced that the 2 Indonesian citizens in Depok, West Java were confirmed to be infected. As of October 28, 2000. 2020, Indonesia has reported 400,483 positive cases, ranking the second in South Asia. COVID-19 is a pandemic that confirmed exists by the community. Okay, next. This figure continues to increase, and its distribution even reached various parts of the country, including the border area, state areas. Nusa Tenggara is a border area where land borders with RDTL and the sea borders with Australia was also affected, despite the different response from the community to the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 is a pandemic that confirmed exists by the community, but dengue, hemorrhagic fever is more feared by the public. It also confirmed during the outer visits to the research location on October 2020. It was also it is due to the DHF rate is much higher than COVID-19. In the news on Kompas.com, 24 May 2020, there were 5,267 dengue patients in NTT. Of that number, 63 people died. Meanwhile, the number of patients who are confirmed positive in NTT was 82 people. Of the 82 cases, there was 1 death case and 7 people reported recovered. However, the management strategy on NTT, which is a border state area, certainly needs to be discussed. Since COVID-19 is not only related to health issue, but also other issues such as defense and security, academic, food, and education. Border security during COVID-19 pandemic viewed from a human security perspective is interesting to elaborate. In the study, security has redefined the meaning of traditional security to non-traditional security. Stated by Barry Busan, including human security, which is now present in various academic works and new research projects in various departments, and present in various academic works and new research projects in various departments and universities. Relevant to the borders management strategy, which currently focus not only on state-centric approach or state security, but also on human security or human-centric. Border management and security do not always focus on the political and military domains, but also non-military, namely individual security, which includes human security. Based on the above statements, the research question were formulated as follows. So this is the research questions and methodology. not only related to the health issues, but also others. My first research question is, how significant is it to strengthen human security at the border, as a border in the COVID-19 pandemic? And the second research question is human security approach feasible to use as a border management strategy in the COVID-19 pandemic? So my main research questions, how the human security approach to be used as a strategy for managing state border during the global COVID-19 pandemic. I used the methodology. The research design used was a case study and qualitative approach, in which the case study used was the instrumental case study. In this paper, there are two data collection techniques used. The first is interviews with key informant who are deemed to have sufficient access to the information as my primary data. And the second is documentation and literature studies. Here's the terminology and literature review. In general, Julian Sanak argues that state borders can be perceived as territorial boundaries that separate the territory of one country from another, simultaneously declaring the boundary of country.
Saya yakin kalimatnya. Dengan menggunakan teori analisis kebijakan, teknik
very decisive
hasil yang didapat belum tahu, Pak.
Security. Stephen B. Jones on border making theory, in his book Handbook for Statements, separates the scope of management into four parts. The first is allocation, second delimitation, third demarcation, and fourth administration. They are allocation, delimitation, demarcation, and administration. According to Pratt, 2006, the first scope administration in its development has shifted towards border management. The two management of border area based on the theory of boundary making, administration, or border area development management can be overlapping with demarcation. It is based on consideration that are often found obstacles and problems in the economic, social, cultural, and political aspects. Within the scope of administration and management of development, the volume of work in dealing with borders is the most, because it involves multi-sector and requires integrated planning. Almost all aspects of development, from political, economic, social, cultural, the law and infrastructure, environmental, defense, and security aspects will be at this level. Roland Paris proposed 7 components in the discussion of human security. The first is economic security, food security, health security, environmental security, personal security, community security, and political security. Professor Cornelis Lai, 2009, suggests 6 types of human security: fundamental individual rights, legal rights, civil liberties, rights to basic needs, economic rights, political rights, and political rights. And then, okay, Barry Busan also around Paris. This is parts of my literature review. And the discussion on research results. COVID-19 was confirmed in China on December 9, 2019. It's December 8, 2019, and was first announced in Indonesia on March 2020. The matter fear of the virus is not new in world history. For centuries, border closures and restrictions on foreign travelers have been the most persistent and pervasive means by which states have responded to global health crisis. Territorial security orientation is the primary option in managing borders during a pandemic or endemic. On the border issues, the war on COVID-19 requires a comprehensive approach based on multidisciplinary studies and does not focus on conventional security approach. Not only concerned with sectoral health issues, but also multi-sectoral issues of people's rights to life, such as education and the economy, a series of issues that certainly needs to be addressed by the human security approach. Border state management during COVID-19 pandemic also brings adjustment of a number of border area policies, since the border areas are the crossing points for people who are also affected by the spread of COVID-19. In the border state management during the pandemic, the human security approach shows its urgency. And then, I go to the conclusion of this research. It is also supported by neighboring countries that impose an emergency state with strict health protocols. However, other sectors such as education and the economy were also affected due to restrictions and activities at the border. And then during the pandemic, there was an increase in the number of Republic of Indonesia and Timor-Leste exports, which simultaneously became a national gain, but local residents have not significantly benefited from the increase in cross-border export activities. Apart from health, education, and economic issues, several issues existed before the pandemic, namely electricity, cellular networks, and clean water. Even interestingly, clean water is often a local political commodity. And however, health protocols remain a concern that is applied in activities specifically bordered to regulate crossing. Discussing and addressing human security is the context of border state management strategy during the COVID-19 pandemic. Certainly does not leave the direction of discussion on access to the rights to life and welfare of the community. The COVID-19 pandemic has not had too much impact on the health sector on the border of Indonesia with Timor-Leste, since the local government and community are hitherto more afraid of the endemic of dengue fever than COVID-19, which is considered insignificant. And the community is expected not only to become the object, but also the subject of the policy itself. Border security must be viewed from individual security and or human security as a vital indicator. This is all my short presentation today. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Aurora.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Arsen, for your presentation. I will open question. Please, the other presenter, participant, and audience, if you have some question, please let us to know, and then just write it down on the chat room. If you want to ask some question to Pak Harsan Roy Tampomuri, or you can ask direct to him, to Pak Harsan. Please. Okay, Pak Arsen.
Yeah.
As we know that Timor-Leste right now have a crisis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then your case is the border area of the Republic of Indonesia and Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste.
Yeah.
As you know, the issue of economic that happened in Timor-Leste that make people from Timor-Leste cross border to Indonesia, or from Indonesia that across to Timor-Leste.
NTT, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I will continue.
For
So,
what reason you are? For what reason that's your, area of study?
sorry.
For what reason? Is there any reason why you focusing in that area?
Because this area is focusing plantation in mainly in cocoa, and it's under socialization from governments.
Waktu. Okay, go ahead. Are you from urban studies?
No, I'm from environmental school.
Oh, I see. I thought you're from urban studies, so I just cut off. Okay. Environmental. Okay. Under whose supervisor?
Mr. Suyut.
Who? Oh, Suyut.
Mr. Suyut.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So this research was conducted in Nangapanda district, and the agency is Nusa Tenggara province. So we use multi-temporal imagery data of Landsat 8 and Landsat 5 to acquiring the soil moisture data and vegetation density data. To get the soil moisture data, vegetation density, we use NDVI, and this data then combined to get the dry area using overlay method with matrix of dry area assessment, and then statistical analysis performed by testing and describe the relationship between the dry area with plantation productivity. Dry area in Nangapanda tend to increase from 2009 to 2019, and the increase in dry area is 58%, as we can see in the graphic, and the increase in dry area is due to decrease in the NDVI index value, which means there is degradation of vegetation or change of land use from vegetated to non-vegetated. And this increasing dry area is also due to a decrease in the desert cap transformation wetness value, which states that there is a change in soil moisture level due to the change of land use. And especially, the dry area dominates the southern of Nangapanda, which is ridge and hilly ridge. So specifically for plantation crops, Nangapanda choose the types of commodities to be planted based on government's program and priority through the Ministry of Agriculture. So that by paying attention to the climate and the condition for plant growth, 5 plantation commodities have been developed. There is cocoa, coconut, candle nut, coffee, and cloves. Coconut and candle nut continue to survive and experience increased production, but are inversely related to coffee. Furthermore, the last commodity that has experienced promising development in Nangapanda is cloves. For this reason, this paper focus on data for cocoa, coconut, candle nut, coffee, and cloves. And based on the result of the statistical correlation, this implies that the productivity in these commodities will decrease along with the increase of dry area, or it can be stated that the productivity of these commodities will be affected by by an increase in dry area. So the conclusion is the dry area in Angapanda has doubled in the last 10 years from 2009 to 2019. The dry area distribution dominates the southern part of the Nangapanda, consisting beach and hilly ridge, and occupied by land use of agricultural areas and shrubs. And dry area correlated with the productivity of plantation commodities in Angapanda, where cocoa, coconut, candlenut, and coffee commodities have decreased along with the increase of dry area. Meanwhile, cloves did not experience a decline despite an increase in dry area. That's from me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Is there any question from the audience or from colleague to Nadia? Actually, to some extent, this is very interesting because you concentrated to one area in which the climate or the physical indicators is matching with the commodities. Is there any question? By the way, Nadia, what are you working on? Halo.
Yes, Mr. Komara.
Ya, kerja di mana?
Belum, saya belum kerja.
Oh, okay. Right. This number. In what semester are you now?
Sorry?
In what semester?
Third semester.
Third, okay. Under Bulim juga ya. Right, any, if there is no question, I think, thank you very much, Nadia. Very interesting, although I have some questions actually, especially, well, I haven't read your detailed research question actually, whether only physical output, I mean, a physical relationship between commodities and the, what's that, the land characteristic, climate and rainfall, and the fertility situation, and so on and so on. But that's probably is not in this meeting. We can talk together actually later on. Thank you, Katarina. Nadia.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Komara.
Thank you.
Asia, with its vast and steady growth, has turned itself into the leader of global economy. Indonesia, with its strategic position, has the chance to take the major role in this era. In order to build global partnerships and counteract the threats, strategic policies should be taken. To enhance the nation's competitive advantage, further approach through in-depth, comprehensive studies and researches are crucial. With our long history, has proved ourselves to be a reliable academic institution. After successfully adapting into distinct programs, in 2016, officially the program turned into School of Strategic and Global Studies. School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia contributes the cause by producing qualified human resources and studies. Situated in the heart of Jakarta, the School of Strategic and Global Studies provides a variety of courses on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary studies at the master's levels.
In my humble opinion,
I can say that I have a good impression at the first sight. An atmosphere and ambience here support us to gain more and achieve more other than merely classes and handouts.
I think that is a very promising because of the multidisciplinary approach that Universitas Indonesia offers us to study. For another reason, the situation that I actually got in the classes is a lot of interesting current issues that we're talking about, so it's academically fulfilling for me.
With dedicated and qualified lecturers from academic and practical background, School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia produce scholars and practitioners that will ready for global challenges. Together, we build the nation for a better world.
Session. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I pass this session to Mr. Thompson as the liaison officer of this conference. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bapak Atur Subroto. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation. Now we are going to take some photos. Please open your camera. Mr. Paris will take our photos. Mr. Paris, please.
Hi.
Please open your camera, please.
Yeah, please open the camera. Okay, I can take it now, I guess.
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1. One more. Big smile. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Good day.
Pak.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now we are approaching to the end of the parallel session. Dear respected session chair, presenters, and audience, we are honored to have you today. Thank you very much. On behalf of the MTC committee, I would like to extend gratitude for your kind participation and support. See you on the second day of SSGS UI International Conference, ICSGS, and ICSDEM 2020. I have shared the link for closing ceremony and attendance list and for final session tomorrow morning. So please copy and pass it to your WhatsApp maybe. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Jiwa manis Indonesia. La 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 la. Indonesia. Tidaklah suram si matahari. Awan putih terbang melayang. Kawan sejati tetap terbayang. Jiwa manis Indonesia. La 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 la. Indonesia. Tidaklah kami sampai kemari. Cuci-cuci di pinggir sumur. Kawan sejati tak bisa luntur.
Asia, with its vast and steady growth, has turned itself into the leader of global economy. Indonesia, with its strategic position, has the chance to take the major role in this era. In order to build global partnerships and counteract the threats, strategic policies should be taken. To enhance the nation's competitive advantage, further approach through in-depth, comprehensive studies and researches are crucial. With our long history, has proved ourselves to be a reliable academic institution. After successfully adapting into distinct programs, in 2016, officially the program turned into School of Strategic and Global Studies. School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia contributes the cause by producing qualified human resources and studies. Situated in the heart of Jakarta, the School of Strategic and Global Studies provides a variety of courses on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary studies at the master's levels.
In my humble opinion, I can say that I have a good impression at the first sight. An atmosphere and ambience here support us to gain more and achieve more other than merely classes and handouts.
I think that is a very promising because of the multidisciplinary approach that Universitas Indonesia offers us to study. For another reason, the situation that I actually got in the classes is a lot of interesting current issues that we're talking about, so it's academically fulfilling for me.
With dedicated and qualified lecturers from academic and practical background, School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia produce scholars and practitioners that will ready for global challenges. Together, we build the nation for a better world.
Universitas Indonesia, the place where knowledge and innovation are committed to humanity. Through its long story since 1849, Universitas Indonesia is considered as the oldest educational institution in Asia. It has been through a substantial change for more than a century. Founded as Javanese medical doctors' school, today Universitas Indonesia became a center of science, technology, culture, and arts. Located in a 320 hectares greenery area, offers a comfortable environment for daily teaching and research activities. To become one best world-class research university, Universitas Indonesia is committed to provide wide and fair access of high-quality teaching and learning. Being part of global educational institution, Universitas Indonesia invites students from all over the world. A value of learning how to convey and to accept knowledge with global society despite different language and cultural background. In the process to be an open knowledge community, Universitas Indonesia is committed to provide learning opportunities to talented students from all over the world through its extensive scholarship program for more than 500 students each year. Excellences of the university's researchers has been proven by research products which benefits development of science, public welfare, technological, industrial achievement, and engineering, as well as government policies in social, economical, political, and cultural sectors. At Universitas Indonesia, each student has the opportunity to share knowledge and making something that will impact society and how they get used to with global competitive environment. To become virtuous and globally competitive graduates and prominent leaders in many respective fields. Academic, extracurricular, and other resources are designed to prepare them for the highest positions of leadership and lives in many fields of service of global human endeavor. Also, how they learn to implementing knowledge as part of community service. A simple solutions for most common social problem in developing country. Many graduates of Universitas Indonesia play a central role in both national and global development, a strong tradition in making contribution to society. Interaction with global influential leaders is part of learning process of all University of Indonesia's academic society. How they perceive a global challenge through the respective leaders.
In infestation for renewable energy is very expensive, but it will be longer than you use it's sustainable. Then you just use the fossil. Okay, I think that is enough for this session for today. Thank you very much for Pak Adis. Thank you very much for all the presenter. And today, Pak Andika will choose the best presenter.
No, Pak Ronald, you just submit the evaluation form to Dr. Lin Yola, and we will announce tomorrow.
Oh, we'll announce tomorrow, not today.
Yes.
Okay. So, how about the planning for today, Pak Andika?
Okay, I will please close Pak Ronald, and I will continue to give some announcement.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much to presenter, audience, and participant already joined to our session right now, session D. And next, I will give the chance to Pak Andika. Please, Pak Andika, to announce.
Okay, thank you, Pak Dr. David Ronald Teras. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are approaching the end of this parallel session. The respected session chair, presenters, and audience, we are honored to have you today. Thank you very much. I would like to remind to the participant that you have may move from one breakout room session to another. But before we leave this parallel session, we would like to ask you to turn on your camera for the group photos. My colleague Adil will take the photo. Please. Please turn on your camera.
Okay, I'm going to take a photo, but I will take sometimes for those who are not on the camera yet. So everyone ready?
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, smile. Another one. Okay, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Adil. On behalf of SSGS UI International Conference Committee, I would like to extend gratitude for your kind participation and support. See you on the second day of SSGS UI International Conference, ICSGS and ICSDEMS 2020. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. Okay, for all participants and audience, I share the link for attendance list, and also for the parallel session at the parallel session for the second day, and also for closing ceremony tomorrow. Please check out. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Pak Ronald.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Pak
Ronald.
Dika. Thank you, Miss
Thank you so
Lin.
much.
Thank you. Thank you, Handika. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, presenters and audience. See you tomorrow. Have a good day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Bu
Thank
Lin.
you. Don't forget to fill the attendance list and save or copy the link for the second day of our agenda.
That I got some information. That's the correct information or not?
It is
You
the
can.
point.
Oh, can you explain that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nupapa.
Yeah.
Okay. About the suspend, about the suspend because of the problem safety area, I think it's not true because KLM before the COVID-19 or another airlines from European or ASEAN still can still can have international flight to the European region. It could be ASEAN Airlines could be have a domestic code share or code share. It means that ASEAN Airlines have as a marketing airlines, but the operating airlines could be the European airlines. And KLM still directly have an international flight to Indonesia from Amsterdam to Jakarta, and Garuda also still have an international flight from Jakarta directly to Amsterdam.
Okay, thank you for correcting me. So I think we still have we have 6 time for the another question from the Zoom participants. Any other question to presenter? Okay. Okay. No, great. Okay, we just finished the all participants today, all presenter. Thank you for the last presenter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Maria Febrianti Puspita Ren. Okay. So we gonna be close this session before I'm going to give it to the Farid Mubarak for the give it some important information. But before that, we would like to thank you for all to attending ICSGS conference today. On behalf of ICSGS committee, thank you very much to have us today. We are looking forward to seeing you on the next conference again in the near future. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Please, Farid Mubarak, I give it the session is for you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nur Fatwa. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are approaching the end of the parallel session. Before we end, I'd like to invite all of you to have a photo session. So all of you could turn on the camera to have the photo session.
Yeah.
And there will be 3 slides in this photo session, so I will take 3 photos in this session. First slides. 1, 2.
Am I in the first slide?
Yes, you are,
Okay.
sir. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next slide. 1, 2, 3. And the last slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much for all the participants. Also on the chat room, I have sent 2 links for tomorrow's session, the closing ceremony and the parallel session on the second day. Dear respected session chair, presenters, and audience, we are honored to have you today. Thank you very much. On behalf of SSGS UI International Conference Committee, I would like to extend gratitude for your kind participation and support. See you on the second day of SSGS UI International Conference, ICSGS and ICSDEMS 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you
Have a
all.
nice
Thank you,
day.
everybody.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dr. Nur Fatwa. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Dr.
Farid.
Fatwa. Thank
Thank you
you.
all presenters and audience. Thank you, Bu Heni, Bu Ika.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Kalau
Asia, with its vast and steady growth, has turned itself into the leader of global economy. Indonesia, with its strategic position, has the chance to take the major role in this era. In order to build global partnerships and counteract the threats, strategic policies should be taken. To enhance the nation's competitive advantage, further approach through in-depth, comprehensive studies and researches are crucial. With our long history, has proved ourselves to be a reliable academic institution. After successfully adapting into distinct programs, in 2016, officially the program turned into School of Strategic and Global Studies. School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia contributes the cause by producing qualified human resources and studies. Situated in the heart of Jakarta, the School of Strategic and Global Studies provides a variety of courses on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary studies at the master's levels.
In my humble opinion, I can say that I have a good impression at the first sight. An atmosphere and ambience here support us to gain more and achieve more other than merely classes and handouts.
I think that is a very promising because of the multidisciplinary approach that Universitas Indonesia offers us to study. For another reason, the situation that I actually got in the classes is a lot of interesting current issues that we're talking about, so it's academically fulfilling for me.
with dedicated and qualified lecturers from academic and practical background, School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia produce scholars and practitioners that will ready for global challenges. Together, we build the nation for a better world.
Jiwa manis Indonesia. La 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 la. Indonesia. Tidaklah suram si matahari. Awan putih terbang melayang. Kawan sejati tetap terbayang. Jiwa manis Indonesia. La 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 la. Indonesia. Tidaklah kami sampai kemari. Cuci-cuci di pinggir sumur. Kawan sejati tak bisa luntur. Alma materku setia berjasa. Universitas Indonesia. Kami wargamu bertekad bersatu. Kami amalkan di dharmamu dan mengabdi Tuhan dan mengabdi bangsa dan negara Indonesia.
you.